week in the vineyard, we now are in areas that we could use our harvester with the super sword on it. So this makes it so much easier for the winery because we don't have to, A, pick till 11 o'clock and then work in the heat this afternoon. And then B, we don't have to remove the stems. So the fruit comes in already destemmed, all ready to go to the press and go inside the winery. So here we are dumping. This machine will actually hold in those bins 3,000 pounds a side. Today we're picking Chardonnay and this is our second pass. So we're dumping it out, and the nice thing about it is the machine actually breaks some of the berries and then they're ready to go straight to the press. The reason there's some little bitty red berries in there is this Chardonnay was grafted in an old Cabernet block, and so there's probably 4 or 5 vines in the row that are Cabernet, but it doesn't change the flavor. We're gonna juice it, and actually what a lot of people don't realize is that the juice inside this Cabernet is just as clear as Chardonnay. So if you see that, it won't affect the wine, actually probably make it better. All right, so with the big benefits of having that Pellenc 8090 harvester is all timing. I call it great wine, right time. So here we are, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and we've already harvested for the day, so the temperature of that fruit was what the temperature was at 7 o'clock, which unfortunately with this heat wave we've got was still, 65 degrees or so. But the difference is, if we were hand harvesting today, there's no way we could get done till noon on the same amount that we did. In the old days, we used buckets. David's spoiled. I had to bucket it into that little press right over there. Did that for a lot of years, but now this wonderful conveyor belt takes the fruit into this bladder press. And then what's happening now is Taylor is trying to we want to load this full. They got a pretty big load today. We'd like to do it in 2 loads. So we picked 6,000 pounds. It's kind of hard to get 3,000 pounds of fruit in there, but if Taylor keeps shoving it up into the corners, we'll do our best to load this press completely full. So now Taylor's putting the cover on. If we don't put the cover on, then we dump out all the grapes, which we don't want. But that cover is perfect. When we load, it's on the top, and when we dump, it's on the bottom. So this is actually called free run. So the fact that the berries are already broken a little bit, we get free run juice before we even press the skins. And so it's a winemaker's decision what he does with that, whether he separates it or whether he puts it with the big press, but you'll see how fast it gets going in a minute. So David's fancy dancy computer actually saves all of the settings. He just told it to get started. And now what it's doing is, before it pressurizes, it's distributing that fruit evenly in that press. So what the press does, turns and turns and turns so that all the fruit is evenly distributed, then automatically that's the pump. And now the bladder is starting to inflate. So it's a long, skinny bladder that's inside that stainless steel drum. And it doesn't matter whether it's Stillwaters or whether it's Everly or whether it's Gallo. This piece of equipment in the industry is the same. The only difference is the size. You notice this is called a soft press 12. This is a little bitty machine made in Italy, and so we love it because at the big wineries, this drum, where I told you it would hold 3,000 pounds, in big wineries it might hold 10,000 or 12,000, and you'll see them outside of big wineries. They're on big stands, and they're all permanent. So what's happening now is that drum is pressurizing, and in a minute now we'll start to see this juice really come out of there a lot faster. So that's where it's all dripping down as it spins around, all that juice. And now all that juice is coming out. So it will do this cycle 7 times. So this is what we call, turn 1.